white girls taste like cigarettes.
Y'all heard them? And what do the black girls taste like?
Strawberry juice.
Okay, just say red.
Red juice.
What's going on, y'all? I'm Mia Bell, and we're back with another episode of BET Talks. And today I have actor, writer, comedian who comes from a lineage of legendary entertainers. You like that? Damon Wayans Jr.
I love that. What an intro.
We're so happy to have you, of course. You have so much going on, especially Poppa's House.
Got Poppa's House coming.
Before we get into that, we're gonna hit you with a little would you rather.
Oh.
Okay. So yeah, I need you on your P's and Q's for this one.
I'm all ears.
Now, would you rather be known as a villain to the world for doing something great for humanity, or a hero to the world for doing absolutely nothing?
I'd rather be a villain to the world for doing something great, because I feel like almost all heroes, especially American heroes, were vilified initially, and then later on they're like these heroes.
Right.
Martin Luther King. At the time, people were like, oh, this guy's terrible, white people. And then everybody celebrates him.
There's a holiday.
It's a freaking holiday. There's streets named after him. And in sketchy neighborhoods.
Right, in every hood.
Yeah.
Would you rather be known for your comedic genius or for your dramatic acting skills?
Comedic genius.
Yeah?
I think comedic genius brings this levity to the world that I feel like we need and is undervalued, and there's not as much as there used to be.
Right.
Yeah.
Would you rather have the freedom to do whatever you want on a project creatively, or get an award for somebody telling you what to do in that situation?
Oh, the first one. For
Yeah?
Sure. Yeah. That's
Okay.
the one thing that I'm envious of my family, the first generation, is how they came into the game. Because they came into the game on their own merit. In Living Color was like them presenting to the world, this is who we are, this is what we think is funny, take it or leave it.
The first of its kind.
The first of its kind, right? And me, as an actor for hire, I aspire to that, you know,
Right.
because I do my job, but I'm working for somebody else's vision, and I'd love to work for my own.
Would you rather a career in both acting and producing, like you already do, or focus on one particular role?
I like both.
Okay.
Right? This is my first time being able to act and produce my own show. I'm also writing on Poppa's House. I'm also in the editing room. It's a lot of work, but it's also like extremely rewarding.
Now, if we can go back in time, would you rather be in Don't Be a Menace or White Chicks?
Don't be a menace.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Classic.
I ain't wearing no dress. No, those were terrible outfits too.
I know,
Right?
but
Like,
it's
if you
hilarious.
don't wear a dress, wear a nice one with a little slit on the side.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Show off them thighs, you know? That's one of those movies that if I'm flipping through channels and I see it's on, I'm just gonna stay there and watch it from wherever it is, because every scene has just so much comedy. I've always wanted to be a part of it. Since I was a little kid, I was like, can you do a part 2 so I can be in it too? And they're like, no, little.
It comes to me when I think of you just, growing up in this legendary family, it makes me wonder how you entered the game too.
For me, I wanted to be an animator initially. I used to draw all the time. I didn't even want to be here. And then I started writing, and then I started doing stand-up, and then I started acting.
And with the stand-up, I can assume how hard it is with these stage shows and figuring out your set.
I feel like the challenges only happened in the beginning.
Right.
I saw my dad do it on a very high level, so I just assumed it was easy to do because he made it look easy, and then I tried it, and it is one of the hardest things to ever master. And so I took that as a challenge. I've been working at it for, over a decade now, so I'm proud of myself.
What was something that stood out to you from all of your family's production and just everything that they've done that made you say, I want to do this, or inspired you in a way?
They do everything on their terms, Don't Be a Menace was written and directed by them. In Living Color, Blank Man, my dad wrote and starred in. So it's just like they were kind of the masters of their own universe. And so that was always inspirational. Poppa's House is the closest I've come to that so far. It is my dad's baby. He created the show, but it's extremely collaborative, and it's so funny. Like, every episode gets funnier and funnier. Like, there's certain jokes in these shows that you'll have to pause the show just to laugh.
Oh my God.
And then you can press play again.
What is it like being with your father and, working on this set?
We have very similar comedic sensibilities.
Yeah.
He's an open ear. He loves to laugh. So if you make him laugh, you can pretty much do no wrong.
Is it hard to make him laugh?
No, I mean,
these days?
I feel like it's even easier to make him laugh now. My goal is to always have like a joke in my back pocket when we're doing scenes together that will make him break.
Okay.
You know, it makes the day go longer, but it's worth it.
Right.
But when I get him the giggles, when he'll laugh really hard, then try to go back to the dialogue, and then he'll just keep laughing because of the joke that I did before. It's just chef's kiss.
Does he treat you like, you know, this is my son who's doing this, I'm the expert? Or does it now feel like, hey, we're looking at each other eye to eye in this situation?
That line is blurred all the time. You know,
Okay.
I go from like co-star to little son, like at the drop of it. Like, that's why I'm here doing this interview by myself. You're supposed to be here with me. He's like, you go to New York and promote it alone. Like, it's called Poppa's out.
You're the Poppa.
Yeah, he's like, you wanna get fired? I'm like, no, I'll go do it.
Your role on Poppa's House, you are an aspiring director and you're trying to keep your wife happy and make money.
I paid for your film school, son. That's it. Now I support you emotionally.
Dad, did you know that George Clooney once gave 15 of his best friends $1 million each?
That's nothing. I once gave an enemy $5 million.
Really, who?
Your mother in the divorce.
She told me it was 3.
That's because she didn't want to pay for film school.
How was it kind of leaning into that role and playing into that when that is not who you are?
Yeah, I like that character. I like being able to explore somebody that doesn't have their stuff together. Like, Junior knows who he wants to be.
Right.
Right? Crystal clear. He just doesn't know how to get there. And I feel like that's why he has the support system in his wife and in his father, who are always there to kind of help him get back on track and be like, this is your reality, that's your dream. And so it's gonna be that balancing act with him. It's like, he's kind of like a Peter Pan kind of guy. He's a big kid, and you'll see him grow up throughout this show.
If you took that promotion, we could afford Buckingham.
Yeah, but that promotion would leave me no time for doing what I love.
Directing short films?
No. Kiss my short wife.
You're a family man on the show and a family man in real life.
Real life.
How do you balance the two? And what are your kids like at home?
Well, you know, I got a bunch of them.
Right.
Yeah, I got 6 kids. Like, my daughter, she actually works on the show.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she's Essence Atkins stand-in.
Oh, really?
She's like always off book. She's really responsible. She comes into the writer's room. She's writing with us. She's very involved, very good. Shout out to Amara.
Do they all want to be in show business?
My first 2 do. 3rd, I don't know. 4th, for sure not.
Okay.
5th, he thinks he's gonna be a basketball player.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thanks.
Swears.
Working towards it.
Yeah, I mean, I want him to be, but you know, it depends on how tall he's gonna be.
That too.
Because he got some big ass feet. And then my youngest, maybe she might be a little performer. She talks a lot. She's 4.
Oh, yeah.
You ever seen those things on TikTok? They're called three-nagers.
Three-nagers. Yes,
Three-nagers,
because they
yes.
so grown
Yes,
at the
that's
mouth.
how she is.
Okay. Smart girl.
She got mad at me one time, and she was like, this is when she was 3. She's like, when I grew up, you're not even coming to my wedding. I was like, what? You're a child. My son, he used to think that the phrase clapping cheeks means beating somebody at a video game. And I didn't know how to like tell him to stop. So I come home, he's like, Dad, this dude just clapped my cheeks. I was like, bro, what are you talking about? He's like, I keeps beating me at this game. I was like, oh. He's like, yeah, he clapped my cheeks upstairs. I mean, I clapped his cheeks downstairs, but she just kept clapping my cheeks. It's like, stop saying clap my cheeks, bro.
When it comes to your family members, who would you say is the funniest? Because I know your Uncle Marlon said that his mother, which is your grandmother,
100%.
is the funniest.
The funniest, hands down.
Yeah?
Hands down.
For you too?
Yes. Easy. Not even close.
Okay.
But it's only when she's being dead serious.
Okay.
Because when she's trying to make a joke, it's like, what?
What?
How do you have so many funny children? But then when she's just being mean and like for real and honest, there's no one that can't hold a candle to it.
Now, before we wrap, pet peeves and pleasures. I'm gonna give you a list of things and you tell me what you either love or, you know, don't really like about it.
Okay.
What about working on a project with your dad?
I love working with my dad just because I'm lucky enough to have a great relationship with him off camera. You know, he's always making me laugh, he gives me great advice. That bleeds onto the camera. It's just our relationship. There's no way to manufacture that chemistry.
Yeah.
What do I hate about working with him? Is that he's my dad.
Right.
You know, so like he'll piss me off during the week and then be like, and then I have to see him on the weekends. Like, what boss do you have to see on the
on
weekends.
the weekends.
Like, hey, I'm gonna come by and see the kids. I'm like, all right. You did cut that line.
Can't say no to that.
I literally can't say no to him.
What about being a dad yourself?
What do I like about it?
Yeah.
What do I hate about it?
Mm-hmm. You can tell the truth. We won't tell them kids.
I got a half a Nick Cannon amount of kids. They're like little me's, you know? Like we get to hang out and I get to see them grow, and that's my happy place. Like I don't like going out and partying. I like to see them and help them and give them advice and laugh with them, just creating memories.
Yeah.
What I dislike about fatherhood, there's two things. They're expensive. They cost too damn much.
Right.
And like the older they get, the more they cost. I feel like it should be the opposite, right? And then two, what I hate is they grow up too fast.
Oh.
They do. Like you'll have the baby and then you blink and then they're working alongside you.
Yeah.
You just see them as a baby. You know, they think they're all grown. I'm like, I remember you on my shoe. And now you're talking back to me.
Right. Now the last one is growing up in a famous family.
What I like about growing up in a famous family is that my family is loved. I feel the love from everybody, even when they don't even know who I am. They just know I'm a Wayans, and they'll just say how much they love whatever projects or whatever my family has been involved in. I love that I can like get a tour guide at Disneyland. I don't have to wait in the lines.
These are the answers
That's
I was looking
fire,
for.
man. Things that I hate about being in a famous family. When I was young, especially when like In Living Color first came out and like blew up, it was really hard to like go out with my dad and without getting hounded for like autographs and stuff like that.
Right.
So quality time was limited to the house because we go outside, then he's the people's champ.
And
Probably
he
that.
has to acknowledge
He
it.
has to acknowledge that. I mean, they're the ones that made him famous. So I get it, I respect it. It was just, as a kid, you don't really understand. You're just
Right.
like, it's my dad.
Well, look, Poppa's house
Papa's house
is here.
is here.
We need everybody to go see it
Please.
so that you can feed yourself and them 6 kids.
Yes.
And so that we can laugh. I seen the first episode. Absolutely love
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Thank you so much for being
Thank
here.
you. Thank you for having me. I
BET
love them
Talks.
boots, sis.
Come on.
I love them boots.
Yeah, we did it.